The jungle is a tough place. It's full of life, but also full of danger. One day, a loud noise ripped through the trees. It was a terrible sound, like thunder mixed with the tearing of metal. A great metal bird, a plane, had fallen from the sky. It crashed deep in the heart of the jungle, leaving a scar on the green world below. Smoke and silence followed the chaos. The jungle's usual sounds of chattering monkeys and singing birds stopped. All that could be heard was the drip of water from giant leaves. It was a place of sudden, unexpected tragedy. Everything was still. The jungle waited to see what would happen next. A young gorilla named Makaka was exploring nearby. He was curious and brave, always looking for something new. He heard the strange crash and went to investigate, moving carefully through the thick undergrowth. The smells of fire and oil were strong in the air, things he had never smelt before. He pushed aside a giant fern and saw the broken plane. It was a strange sight, a metal beast lying dead amongst the trees. Makaka crept closer, his heart thumping in his chest. He was wary, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He had to know what this thing was. Inside the wreckage, amongst the broken seats and scattered belongings, Makaka heard a faint sound. It was a small cry, a sound of a creature in distress. It was not the sound of any jungle animal he knew. He followed the noise, his black eyes wide with wonder. There, wrapped in a soft blanket, was a tiny human baby. The baby had smooth skin, no fur, and small waving hands. Makaka had never seen anything like it. He tilted his head, looking at the small, helpless thing. It was alone. It was vulnerable. This was a place where only the strong survive. Makaka nudged the baby gently with his nose. The baby stopped crying and looked up at him with big, trusting eyes. At that moment, something shifted in the young gorilla. He felt a strange pull, a need to protect this small creature. He knew it did not belong here, but he also knew he could not leave it to fend for itself. The jungle would claim it quickly. He let out a soft grunt, a call to his mother, Kayla, who was foraging nearby. He had found something extraordinary, something that would change not only his life, but the life of their entire troop forever. The jungle had taken, but it had also given. Kayla arrived quickly, drawn by her son's call. She was a gentle and wise gorilla, her eyes full of kindness. When she saw the human baby, she stopped. Her first instinct was caution. Humans were creatures they avoided, but this was just a baby, small and defenseless. She saw the way Makaka was looking at the infant with a mix of curiosity and concern. Kayla moved closer, her movements slow and deliberate so as not to frighten the child. She looked into the baby's eyes and saw no fear, only a deep need. Her maternal instincts, strong and true, took over completely. She knew what she had to do. With a soft, reassuring sound, Kayla gently scooped the baby up into her powerful arms. The baby, who would one day be known as Tarzan, settled against her warm, furry chest, feeling safe for the first time since the crash. Kayla held him as if he were her own. Makaka watched, pleased and relieved. He knew his mother would protect the small creature. Together they carried the baby back towards their troop. A strange but hopeful procession moving through the dense jungle. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows through the trees. It was the start of a new life for the boy. Bringing a human into a gorilla troop was not simple. The leader, a massive silverback named Kerchak, was not pleased. He saw the baby as a threat, a weakness. He grunted and beat his chest, a display of power and disapproval. He didn't trust this hairless creature. It was different. It was not one of them. The other gorillas were hesitant, keeping their distance and watching with wary eyes. They had never seen a human up close before, let alone accepted one into their family. The jungle had rules, and this was breaking them all. But Kayla was strong-willed. She stood her ground against Kerchak, cradling the baby protectively. She would not abandon him. Her love was a shield, fierce and unyielding. Makaka stood by her side, a loyal brother to the newcomer. Slowly, very slowly, seeing Kayla's fierce determination, the troop began to relent. They saw that the baby was no threat. He was just a child in need of a family. Kayla's love was a powerful force, strong enough to challenge the ancient laws of the jungle and convince a troop of gorillas to accept a human boy as one of their own. Tarzan grew up with the jungle as his playground and the gorillas as his teachers. He did not learn to walk on two legs at first. He learned to scamper on all fours, just like Makaka and the other young gorillas. His knuckles grew tough from moving across the forest floor. He learned to climb before he could properly stand, his small hands and feet finding holds in the rough bark of the giant trees. The jungle canopy was his home. He would swing from vine to vine, his laughter echoing through the leaves as he raced his brother Makaka to the highest branches, feeling the wind rush past his face. Life was a constant lesson. Kayla taught him which fruits were sweet and safe to eat and which berries were poisonous. She showed him how to find fresh water in the cups of large flowers, and how to build a comfortable nest of leaves to sleep in at night. Makaka taught him how to play, how to wrestle and tumble without getting hurt. From the silverback Kerchak, even from a distance, Tarzan learned about strength and leadership. He watched how Kerchak protected the family, how he responded to threats, and how he led them to new feeding grounds. Every day was an adventure, a new skill to master. Tarzan's senses became sharp, tuned to the rhythm of the jungle. He could smell a coming rainstorm long before the first drop fell. He could hear the soft padding of a predator's paws from a great distance. His eyes learned to see things that were hidden, to spot a ripe mango high in a tree or the flick of a monkey's tail in the dense foliage. He learned the languages of the jungle, the warning calls of the birds, the angry snarl of a leopard and the soft, comforting grunts of his gorilla family. He was becoming part of this wild world, his human instincts blending with the law of the jungle. His bond with his family was unbreakable. He felt a deep love for Kayla, his mother, who had saved him and nurtured him with unending patience. Makaka was more than a friend. He was his brother in every way that mattered. They shared everything from their food to their secrets. They protected each other. When danger was near, they stood together. Tarzan would groom Kayla's fur, a sign of affection and belonging in the gorilla world. He was part of the troop, a strange and hairless member, but a member all the same. He was a gorilla in his heart. As Tarzan grew older, he began to notice the ways he was different. He would look at his reflection in a clear pool of water and see a face unlike any other in his family. He had smooth skin, not thick, dark fur. His nose was small, his limbs long and slender. He couldn't knuckle walk as fast as the others, and his body wasn't as strong as a growing gorilla's. He couldn't roar like Kerchak or communicate with the same deep grunts. These differences sometimes made him feel a pang of loneliness, a quiet question in his heart about where he truly belonged in this world of fur and might. He would sometimes sit alone watching the other gorillas. He saw how easily they moved, how perfectly they were built for this jungle life. He would try to flatten his nose or cover his skin with mud to look more like them. He wondered why he was so fragile, so slow, so human. These feelings were confusing. He loved his family with all his heart, but the mirror in the water showed him he was an outsider. He was an anomaly, a strange creature living amongst giants. The jungle was his home, yet he was not truly of the jungle in the same way they were. Despite these feelings, the love from his family was a constant comfort. Kayla would often find him looking sad and pull him into a warm, gentle hug. She would groom his hair with her fingers, her touch telling him everything he needed to know. "You are loved. You are ours." Makaka never treated him as if he were different. To Makaka, Tarzan was just his brother. They would play and explore, and in those moments of shared joy, Tarzan's worries would melt away. Their bond was proof that family is not just about looking the same, it's about loving the same. In the end, Tarzan accepted his place. He learned to use his differences as strengths. His nimble mind and agile body allowed him to do things the gorillas couldn't. He could create tools, set clever traps for food, and think his way out of problems. He was not a gorilla, but he was the jungle's own. He was Tarzan, a legend in the making, wild and free. He was a boy raised by apes, a bridge between two worlds, perfectly at home in the heart of the jungle, surrounded by the only family he had ever known. He was different, yes, but he was not alone.